Okay, welcome everybody to the August 8th Board of Selectmen's meeting. Please stand and join me for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, everyone. First up on the agendas, we have the acknowledgements, and this is where we celebrate the birthdays of our town employees for the upcoming month, and we show respects to the passings of the previous month. So this, on the birthdays, we have Elizabeth Betsy Baker from the library. Steve. Oh, you can get it on the way in? Steve DeShano from the fire department and Carrie Blackwood from the police department. I'd like to wish these individuals a happy birthday, thank them for the service of Milton to the townspeople of Milton. So now on the other side we have 4 passings last month that I'd like to recognize. Mary Prusson, Teresa Rawson, John Leary Jr., and William Murphy Sr. If I could just bow your heads for a moment of silence, show respect to these people, I'd appreciate it. Thank you. Next on the agenda is to have a discussion with the library trustees on the continued repairs of town-owned Milton Free Public Library. Periodically, it becomes a contest of who owns the building. It's a town building. Being a town building, it should go through Public Works, grounds crew, treated like any other town building in town. Yes, it's got some nuances in it where there are grants that we get from, LCHIP and whatnot that help toward that end. But again, it is a town building, so I just want to reiterate the fact that anything goes on in government buildings, or any of the government buildings, Pat is in charge of it through his grounds people. So, and did you want to?
Yeah, I'm going to have to ask questions to get answers. You're the vice chair, right, Larry? Who's vice chair of the trustees? You're the vice chair of the trustees? Okay.
Oh, wait.
Trustees of the library. So I was right. Okay. Okay, so can you answer this for me, Larry?
Excuse me. That my suggestion is, if you wish to have a detailed discussion with the library, the content of which might adversely affect the reputation of individuals in the community, you would do well to enter into.
Okay, we're not going to mention anybody's name at all.
Correct.
Period.
Under 91A.
We're not mentioning anyone's name, so it's what he's asking. The questions he's asking is all public information. So.
Okay. So the question's asking regarding to the an LCHIP grant.
Pardon me?
My question is regarding an LCHIP grant. Is it common practice to have the check mailed to a trustee's home?
The question that you are asking.
Is
would
it
have
common
to-
practice to have the
No.
check mailed to someone's home?
The question cannot be answered without knowing the wishes and intent of LCHIP. Have you, as a selectman, asked at LCHIP what its practices are?
I just received the document as I walked in tonight, so I don't have a lot of time. That's why I'm asking questions.
What document have you received?
The LCHIP Land and Community Heritage Investment Program.
And what is the content of that paper?
I haven't read it, Larry. I told you, I just walked in, I sat down, and it was handed to me.
If you have not read it, how do you ask me a question about it, not even knowing what?
Because the practice has already happened. I'm asking you questions about it. Are you not familiar with the LCHIP
without-
program?
Excuse me. Without having a piece of paper that I can see and look at the content of it, It is impossible to answer a specific question about a specific piece of paper without having the piece of paper.
I think
You
the
have a
question,
copy for it.
question I'm asking is, you know, it doesn't go into detail, is it common practice that a L-chip grant check be mailed to the home of one of the trustees?
I can't speak for L-chip. You have to ask L-chip what their
So
common
you don't know it
practice
either?
is.
Okay, so I guess maybe let's
No,
phrase it.
I can explain, yeah.
Yeah.
What happened was the check was mailed out to the library, certified mail, and it got lost. Eventually, it got returned to the library, and in a haste, I'm never around in time to pick anything up from the library. I should have sent it here, but I just sent it to Les's address, I knew it off the top of my head. So that's my fault, because if the check was returned, it was a last minute quick decision when she called me on my cell phone.
Okay, so you know of the check I'm speaking about?
Yeah,
So what was that check for?
the first disbursement for the work.
For the work on the
Yeah.
library, okay.
Yeah.
So, as a routing issue, should that have not gone into the general fund or any place else but the library's checking account?
There's a grant fund set up at the town for it.
For the
For the first
library's
disbursement. Yep, well, I
checking
think
account?
it's a town policy, all the grants.
And what
go
is
into
the,
one.
is there a set limit on how much can go into that? No?
No.
Is the grant fund in the general fund or is it in the,
I thought it was a whole separate account.
Because
Grant line
it's,
is its own separate line.
It's
Right.
a grant, it's a line in the general.
that's what I was
fund.
asking, it's in the general fund?
But it's not part of the library's operating budget.
Correct,
L-chip
understand.
grants are their own separate line item.
so why is it different this time we're receiving grant money? Why is it being handled different than it did last year?
I believe we ended up putting it in our account last year too, and we were told not to. So moving forward, it was going into the grant fund, so I don't know. I didn't even know who the check was written out to.
Okay, do we know where the check went this year?
It's in the checking account, I believe, at the library, which I believe was gonna be transferred over.
Is that the procedure? Is that the steps? Or should it have gone right into the general fund to begin with?
Yeah, I didn't even know who it was made out to, so, yeah, I mean,
John?
Just from some of the experience I've had with L-chip and grants for the town of Milton. When we do a grant, irregardless if it's a library, the townhouse, farm museum, or whoever it may be, when you make out a grant for the town buildings, you gentlemen approve it when it leaves here.
Correct.
And the mailing address is on here that you guys approve.
Correct.
So that's where the mailing address comes from the Board of Selectmen, okay by the board.
that's all.
I think that will answer your questions as far as you guys are concerned. And the money for the town buildings should go in the general fund, not the library checking account.
That's.
Period.
Yeah.
That's where we're going with this. So now, does that mean that you should deposit that into the general fund now? That check, that amount?
Should be transferred over to the grant.
To the grant line,
Yeah.
right?
Okay.
Question?
Yes, Mr. Brown?
Do the selectmen have the present balances for payment out of that line?
Of the general fund? Of the grant fund?
Let us say that a check from L-chip came in for $10.
Mm-hmm.
It was for payment on a contract for $10. The contractor received $10.
Mm-hmm.
There is a record of the contractor having been paid $10, and $10 has been deducted from L-chip. Do we know what has been paid, what contractor has received?
According to the
money,
checking account, it
or,
hasn't been
excuse me,
dispersed.
or what money is still outstanding? Do you have a dollar figure?
I believe Pat can help me out with that.
It's monies that are spent out of the grant line that's set up in the general fund is documented just like you were spending out of your budget. It goes straight through the finance office.
Yep.
They have documentation of every single
Every dime,
payment that, and there's a purchase order attached to that
the backup.
payment. The purchase order may be laid out with monies coming from 3 different accounts to pay the one bill, because the way this was set up in the very beginning, there was monies coming from 3 or 4 different places. So, for example, we spent last year $113,000 to do the first phase of the library repairs. We had the library warrant article for $40,000. We had a selectmen's warrant article for $20,000. We
Yep.
had the L-chip for $14,700,
We had the state council of the arts too.
right? And
Yeah.
we had an $8,000 state council of the arts. Plus, we had money encumbered from public works, government buildings
Mhm.
budget to do the work, and we had a little bit of money encumbered from the library budget to do the work. There was a spreadsheet that went out on a regular basis that had what we had in each line, what was paid out of each line, what was remaining in each line, what the check number was for that payment, what the purchase order number was for that payment, all the way to the end until we had a zero balance in every line.
So would the library get a copy of all of that?
Yes, they did.
Do you have a copy of that, Larry?
No,
Okay.
excuse me. Why would I have a copy of that with me?
I don't know, I'm just asking if you had a copy. You're questioning me on the routing of this, and
The question is, do the selectmen know the present payment out of the L-chip check? Can you give me the amount of that check?
Once you talk to a financial person, sure we could.
yeah,
Excuse me?
it's probably in here. I haven't
You
read
haven't
this
read
yet.
it, and you're asking me if I have a copy. And I have not seen that piece of paper before.
No,
and you're
that's
asking
not
me
it,
if I
Larry,
know
that's
about
not what he's asking you if you got a copy of it. He's asking you, Pat just made the statement, there is a spreadsheet created of all money spent out that went to the library trustees. Did you receive a copy of that?
it. Did the,
We know you won't have it tonight on yourself, but he just want to know if you received the copy. That's all he's asking.
that, did Pat send a copy to the trustees?
Right.
Was it sent to each of the trustees in turn?
Mm-hmm.
Is it in my vast files for the library? Okay. Can I go home and find a copy? Very likely.
Mm-hmm.
Do I know the amount of that check? Do you know the amount of the check right now?
No, I haven't seen it.
Neither do I know the amount of
Oh,
the
you?
check right
Yeah.
now.
Oh,
Do you
Mike
know
does, Mike
whether
does.
that check has
Yeah.
been cashed to the benefit of the contractor?
I don't know, I know it's been deposited into the account, but I don't know if it's been paid out to the
It's been-
Had
client.
you asked the contractor if he had gotten paid?
Okay, it's been put in, the bottom line is it's been put into the wrong place.
Yes. And then what happens? What consequence?
Well, that's what we're asking you.
What consequence and what remedy?
Well, I guess it's a lesson to be learned. We don't do it this way
No,
anymore.
that's not my question.
And-
What consequence, what remedy?
There are rules to be followed, there are state regulations to be followed.
And what consequence, what remedy, what action?
Well, we
do the
thought we
selectmen
thought we
wish to
had a
pursue?
remedy last year when it was brought up to attention last year, and it was discussed with the financial person that it goes into the grant fund line. And we thought that was a remedy, and apparently it didn't happen that way.
That, I have no problem with that.
Yes, John?
Just to help out if I can, all receipts and disbursements for the restoration of the Milton Mills Library is documented right to the penny.
Yep.
By check number, and if anybody wants to see it, it's available to the public or whoever. The only thing we don't have a record on is the Friends of the Library, which is money in there also for the restoration.
Yep.
We do need that.
The,
Yep.
excuse me, two things should be considered. John mentioned the New Hampshire Farm Museum. New Hampshire Farm Museum is a freestanding independent 50c3 corporation. As such,
No, we're not really
I'm
really concerned about the Fire
I'm
Museum
not
tonight.
done.
Well,
Neither
we are not
the
going to-
Friends of the
we are
library
not-
responsible to this town to keep.
Point of order, Mr. Chairman.
Sir,
Mr. Brown, we are not going to be discussing the Farm Museum. We're not going down that rabbit hole. We are talking about the library. He made that mention as a reference.
He
As a
mentioned
reference.
it as the same technique. Neither the Farm Museum nor the Friends of the Library are required to report their expenditures to the town as the dependent agent of the town. Do you understand that?
I know what you're saying.
Fine. Now, let us go back to my question, which is what consequence and what remedy? I am not the treasurer of the trustees.
I understand that too.
What do the selectmen wish to do? If you have a check, I will use $10, I'm not about to do $113.73. If a record of $10 exists in the files of either the library or the town, has the contractor been paid? That's my question. Has the contractor been paid? And if the town is sitting on money that could be paid out, has the town done it? Does the town know the exact amount of the money that is due the contractor, whom I understand is not in the best of the health, which is a public a record?
Larry, I wasn't
do you
asking
want
that
to
question.
do? What do you want to do?
We need to get that check in the general fund, first up. First
You need to
step.
follow that protocol all the time.
Excuse me, there is in this town records of the town which are kept in private residences.
Which is also, again, that's not,
Do you understand that no one can have any record of the town kept in
What are we
private
throwing stones here? Hey,
I'm
just
not throwing
asking.
stones. I'm stating what you were agreeing to, that no record should be kept. What do you want as at the end of this?
Mr. Chairman, I don't know where this is going.
Well,
all right.
we want the check.
we want the check deposited in the
Then
general
ask for
fund.
it.
Well, first off, we
Then
shouldn't have
we
to ask for it.
shouldn't
It should
have
have been
to.
followed. All right, I'm going to tell you right now, we want the check deposited into the general fund, number one. Number two, I'd like to see all records that pertain to that library kept here at Town Hall, so people that want to see them, they can see them.
I have no problem.
Okay, you asked for what I wanted, that's what I want.
What else?
Thank you for all your hard work.
That. Now, do the selectmen wish to state for the record that every record kept by any person in their private residence
No.
shall be maintained at the town?
You're not asking that, Larry.
Well, I
Why
think we
not?
need to. I think we need to have all records here at the town office. For residents, if they want to view them, they're all public information. Things that were done, things that weren't done, money that's spent, it should be kept, it should be public information.
And what arrangements will the town make for the safeguarding of those records, and what space will be provided for them?
They would become the property of the town clerk. She
I have no
is
problem.
the keeper of the records for the town.
Now, lastly, it should be noted that every person, for those warts that they may have over time, when they step forward as a volunteer, you always expect good service, goodwill, and control. If a person fails in that, then there is a consequence and a remedy. And I'm asking the selectmen, what failure, what consequence, and what remedy? I expect that when the trustees of the library meet, that the two of us here will have the most direct and frank conversation about the problems of a chain of custody and the direction of checks into the proper line.
Mm-hmm.
Is that clear to the selectmen? Is that acceptable to the selectmen?
Well, I think there needs to be some clear, concise direction.
I ask you again,
And the
what
direct,
consequence and what remedy and what course of action? Those are three things.
So you're gonna put this on the agenda for the next library trustees meeting, correct? Is that,
That's what I just said.
okay,
okay.
that's what I'd like to see.
I said that for myself, there will be a direct and frank discussion.
Thank you.
Because I tell you, the other thing, if you find me dropping back into what I would call my former New York life, it is for two things. That there is nothing for a library more important than the public perception and the actuality of trust for what is the treasure of Western civilization. And I'm not being dramatic. We have seen in Syria, in Iraq, the destruction of the monuments of civilization. And anything, I don't care whether it's taking home 2 postage stamps and from a complete roll, that is an attack on the integrity and the value of the library to this community. I hope you can hear clearly what side I'm on. I do not.
I do.
I do not like witch hunts. I do not like nanny, poo-poo. And I keep asking, what injury, what consequence, what remedy, what action? If you are satisfied that the check still exists, if you'll pardon the humor, that the check has not gone to Aruba, that there has been.
I don't think anybody's even suggesting that.
Okay. That there has been, in time past, a perception no, forget that. That's not important to this issue. The issue of what I would call span of control is a more important thing for some people than it is for me. You can hear what my interests are. I do not set the agenda for the meeting, but I'm certain that under other business, the point will come up.
Mhm.
I will ask at that point for a memo to go from the library trustees to the selectmen, and I would expect from the selectmen, from this meeting, to have a clear and final statement of what the issue is, what the consequence is, what the remedy is, and what the action is by the Board of Trustees. I don't like, as my mother would say, I don't chew my spinach twice.
That's probably a good thing.
Yeah. I say it's spinach and I say the hell with it. If that proverb is clear.
I guess
I want.
I guess my issue with the whole thing is this happened last year. It was spoken to not do it again. It needs to go into the general fund, and again it happened this year. And that's my issue with it. I mean, you shouldn't have to hear things 2 or 3 times to make it happen.
We're in this
From
one out.
the
All right, yeah.
Look, one more thing, you can laugh or not understand it or disregard. From the time of the ancient Hebrew prophets, free will and predestination have been debated in this world. what a person does of their own free will is not my action. And
Agree.
somebody who takes it upon themselves
Mhm.
to act for what they see as the benefit, not my job. You have heard clearly what I want, and the only thing I will say again is that everyone who steps forward at the beginning steps forward in goodwill and hope.
Thank you, Larry.
If you make a mistake, you deal with it, you go on.
Yep.
And you.
All right, we're gonna move on. We're gonna move on. Mr. Kent, yeah, John's up. I got it, Mike. John's up, for ownership of the Milton Mills Cemetery transactions.
Do you mind if I come up there and sit?
Come right up here if you want.
I want to be a part of it tonight. Be easier.
Sure.
My name is John Coward. I'm here to work with the Board of Selectmen on the transfer of the Milton Mills Cemetery to be owned by the town of Milton
Okay.
by
Yep.
January 1, 2017. We've got the survey completed.
Okay,
It's been through the Register of Deeds, completed.
okay,
I have an invoice that I'll be going ahead of the trustees of the trust fund this Thursday to request the check to pay for that.
okay,
I have all the records where you people okayed.
yep,
As well as the Milton Mills Cemetery and the Milton Cemetery trustees. Now, the next thing is that I don't think you gentlemen are aware of, and it was being worked with me and Liz Dion before she parted,
okay,
and I would like to just quickly go over it, her email,
okay.
so I think it might refresh some of yous. This is from Liz to me. Hi, John. He's fine with those two revamped warrant articles. He meaning Jim Sessler.
Yep, about that.
And he agrees with the RSA 4114A process. And however, he asked to wait until after warrant articles were passed before the Board of Selectmen proceed in this process. Are any of you familiar with this process? RSA 41:14-A. Probably not. I would say I wouldn't know either unless I
Right.
got involved with it. So anyway, I'd like to take a few minutes and go over it so we all
Sure.
understand it together.
Okay,
Okay, I'm gonna hand out copies to you gentlemen. So you can go and go right to the same thing I'm looking at. If you turn the first page, you'll see the RSA 41:14-A.
Yep.
And you read down through it, and basically it's saying that the Board of Selectmen have the authority of sale of land, buildings, or both.
yep,
Except for, you get down to the second paragraph there, it starts saying about how it has to go up on a warrant article for the voters, and we have to go through 2 public meetings.
yep, yep,
Fortunately, we've done a lot of research with Liz Dion and myself and Jim Sessler, and we discovered back in 2005, the town of Milton put a warrant article up, skip a page and go to the next one, you see the warrant article in 2005. Article 7.
yep.
Could you read that for me, Tom, please?
Yep, to see if the board will vote to adopt the provisions of RSA 4114A, which authorizes the selectmen to acquire or sell land, building, or both, provided that the selectmen first submit their proposed acquisition of sale to the planning board, conservation commission, and review recommendations, and further provided that they first hold 2 public hearings on the proposal. Then the selectmen may proceed unless 50 or more registered voters petition the selectmen. The acquisition or sale shall not proceed until it is approved by voters of the town of Milton. Yep,
Now, what that means is that last sentences that you read was that if a petition goes up,
correct,
we'd have to go back to that process.
correct.
We don't have to do it in this case here.
Yep.
Okay, because unless somebody comes up with a petition goes against it, which I should doubt. Okay, now on that warrant article, just for everybody's information, there was a vote of yes, a 450, and a vote of no, a 256. So that's said, and done, and deal,
Yep.
that we can move forward with that. Now, what it means, gentlemen, is that we have liaisons for all other departments, which I believe, Tom, you are for the planning board.
Correct.
So you'd have to go ahead of the planning board to get an okay from them and present this to them. And as well as whoever's a liaison for the Conservation Commission. I think that's you, Mike.
No, we don't have.
We don't have
Well,
one.
maybe one of you could take it on for an assignment. Maybe Andy would like to do that.
He's got a lot of boards. I think I'd be honestly, I'd take it on.
All right, okay, whatever. It doesn't matter as long as we
You
can
don't
get
mind,
it done.
Andy? You've got a lot of them.
You just go right ahead and do it. I
Now, if you
appreciate
read
your help.
the article, it doesn't state that you need approval, it says recommendation.
Yeah.
So it doesn't, I mean,
Well, we need something then, right?
yeah, you need something from
Yeah,
them.
right,
just-
yeah. So is that clear?
Yep. I was familiar with that in 2005, I was
And as you
part of
know,
that process.
we passed a warrant article this year for the future for starting in 2017, a budget of 10 grand a year.
Yep.
And at the end of the year, be reimbursed from this fund that we also got an okay to do, expandable trust fund.
Yep.
To pay the town back, so it's a free deal, basically.
Exactly.
All right, so if you could do that, I'd appreciate it. Any questions?
I have none.
Thanks for all your hard work, John.
Yeah, really,
Seriously.
seriously.
Never ends.
Yeah, it's going along good on this now. I'm sure that, that Norway Plains was a big thing, getting that done. And there's a lot of additional work being done to that cemetery right now to have it in A1 shape, stone repair and stuff like that. And it's going to be good for the town, as you're all aware of. You got the letter from Middleton also that they're interested in doing some type of a lease agreement because they're not within the RSA 289 either.
Right.
So, and they're also working with Wakefield. In fact, they're gonna meet with Wakefield this Thursday, and we'll see what the outcome is from there. But we're willing to work with anybody and talk about it.
Sure.
And we'll keep you guys posted.
All right.
So John, I know you're, I guess we all are, you're mostly frustrated with the Prospect Hill project going on there.
Yeah.
Is, I know that they've been dragging their feet, and they continue to drag their feet.
Yeah, they had, well, somewhat, yes, but it's all to do with a legal thing.
Yeah.
They were,
Those are what
unfortunately,
I'm talking about.
right, unfortunately, they had to release their lawyer.
Yeah,
And it went on from there and on and on. Then they didn't get, they don't have the same board of selectmen. I mean, the three that we originally went to the meeting with, all of us, I don't think there's any of them still standing over there. Maybe one out of,
one,
okay, so
Yes.
that's another issue.
yeah.
They do have a new legal firm that's working on this in Portland, Maine. And I'm sure, I know Andy's, I've sent him everything that's going on recently.
Yeah.
And we are coming to we're getting closer to a closure for Lebanon to take this cemetery over. And I'm going to share with you, officially, I stopped all Milton employees from the highway department working in that cemetery because of liability risk.
Yeah.
I mean, the town can't afford to take that any longer. And what I've done, I've gone out and I've hired an outside contractor that's doing it, and it was well within our financial budgets to take care of it, so.
Good.
Okay.
So that's well on its
Yep.
way, too.
That's good.
Good.
Thanks,
Okay.
John.
Okay, up next. That is a book by Staple. Sun Run permit refund request. Someone left the keys?
Yeah.
We have a request of a refund of a permit.
It was never utilized, they just didn't go with the project.
Right. Regards to, let's just do this. To whom it may concern, the purpose was is request a cancellation of and refund of fees if applicable of building permit 1807, electrical permit for the photovoltaic solar project located at 385 Appleby Road. The homeowner, Anthony Morrow, has decided not to move forward with the project. Thank you for your consideration. And that was sent to code enforcement.
He also.
Yep, and I'll read his recommendation. This is a recommendation from the code enforcement officer. In regards to the letter submitted by Sunrun to request the cancellation and refund of fees applicable of building permit 1807 and electric permit E31616-9 for the voltaic solar project located at 385 Apple. I do not advise refund any fees for approved permits, as it will set a future precedence for all future permit applications. And to my knowledge, refunds are not issued in the past. What are your guys' thoughts? I mean, I'm looking at this.
Well, he's already, by accepting the permit, Brian has already started working on it.
Okay.
So this money's spent
Okay.
right there, right away.
All right.
And he's right, if we start, if we set that precedent, then we have, you know, he'll end up doing half the job, and then because they canceled or didn't meet their
All right.
their goals, will wanna have a refund. I don't think we should do it.
Okay. Andy, thoughts?
Yeah, no, I mean, it's unfortunate that, they didn't move forward with their project, but
It's not our fault.
yeah. I'm sorry.
No. Okay. Well, give me a motion then.
Make a motion to deny the refund for the electrical permit 1807. I think it's just one, right? Was it?
1807 and electrical permit.
Building permit 1807, electrical permit E 3161 9-9.
6-9.
6, okay,
Yeah.
6, sorry.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Old business, 60 Church Street status and update. Okay, we have pictures of what I'm assuming is the inside of that
Yeah.
facility. And I'm just gonna read what the notes on the bottom. It says, plans are to have the structure down and cleaned up by the end of December 2016. The roof removed by the end of August. Walls and debris removed by the end of October. And expected to be down and clean end of November. Yes, Bob.
Can you repeat that?
Sure, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Yeah.
This
I was
is
looking
the
down. I
issue-
should've
This is
been-
the issue that I'm.
Yep, I know it is.
for.
Yeah,
All right.
Barbara.
Yeah, you wanna give a
Sure,
copy?
you can have this.
Whose notes are these?
That's
Whose notes are those, Tom?
They're in the packet. I'm assuming that is
Maybe
either
the
from
homeowner?
code enforcement or the homeowner.
code enforcement getting this.
So we don't know who this update is from.
I'm assuming it's probably from the homeowner to the
Yeah.
code enforcement. Yes.
The only thing I can say is that I know the homeowner has been in on more than one occasion to discuss this with Brian.
Okay. So I'm assuming it's probably from the homeowner
Yeah, that's.
to
that's-
Brian.
yeah.
And that's the assumption, because it's put in our packet, and they didn't sign it, so.
Okay, I have a couple of comments and
Okay.
questions when you're
Yeah, go ahead.
through.
Go ahead.
Um,
Could you just state your name for the?
Yes, Barbara Hughes, Milton Mills. Unfortunately for you, Mr. Gray, I couldn't have scripted words out of your mouth better than what you said earlier about a library issue. This is the third year in a row I have appeared before the board for the exact same reason, which is completely being ignored by the code enforcement department. And you made it very clear on the other issue previously this evening that this happened last year, happened this year, we shouldn't have to hear this 2 or 3 times. And this is the third time
No,
I've been.
I agree with you on that.
All right. I have my original complaint, which was filed on the 21st of June, which I'm under the impression, I can't find it in writing, under the impression this alone is supposed to trigger a response to me from someone on town behalf. My phone number and my address are on here. Didn't hear a thing. I used the email link off of the code enforcement site the first time. I CC'd you on that email. I won't do that again because you don't get a copy in your sent file. You need to cut and paste an address into your actual email program. So unfortunately, for me and for you, that one went by the wayside. That was a first email to code enforcement asking. The second email I sent on the 25th, I did not copy you on. It went to code enforcement. And the last paragraph, I said, can I please get a reply from you and an update? What is supposed to happen after the 24th? Does your department and town have authority to make it happen, or do you need district court for the next step? I have not heard. I've been going by and taking photos because I go by there on a regular basis. This is very upsetting to me because of the past history on this particular piece of property. Their demolition permit expires, period, the end, on the 24th of August. That thing is supposed to be gone. And this makes me extremely upset to see this. In addition, the email that's missing that I have no record of specifically points out that on the demolition permit, if work does not commence within 180 days, the permit is invalid. If work lapses for 180 days, the permit is invalid. Nothing has happened there on either end of that scenario to allow this demolition permit to even be valid. And I can't get an answer from code enforcement. And I'm in very close contact with the abutters who have also had no success emailing. They now deal with the land use clerk. And I'm going to tell you that this is unacceptable. The thing, if you blew over, it would fall down. It's a derelict, it's a hazard, it's an eyesore. I have pictures in my phone right now if you gentlemen wish to see it.
Well, I've seen the building, I mean.
Well, you should see it lately.
Yeah. I haven't seen it lately.
You can have it.
Yeah.
I'm happy to show you what it looks like right now.
You guys wanna see what it looks like? No? Okay, it's really, I mean,
Picture says it all.
yeah.
This is fortunately what the public can't see. You know that charming Milton Mills parade that goes around every year that is so wonderful, that's one of the pride and joys? It goes right by this property. There was graffiti written on it last summer when there was a spate of graffiti in Milton Mills, and it was so vulgar and it was so awful that one of the adjacent property owners, there are children on two sides there, covered it up with paint, and it's still there. And if you are not going to allow the gentleman at the property next to Cumberland Farms an extension, then I don't understand why these people are allowed an extension. And I also don't understand why I can't get code enforcement to respond to me. I think it's rude.
We'll have to get an answer for that. That I can't answer, that's his. Can you get an answer for that, Andy?
Yeah, moving forward too, not just you, Barbara, but anybody in town, if you eat, I mean, CC myself, because I just got onto the,
Yes,
I just jumped
Mr.
onto this
Gray-
with you,
Mr.
so,
Gray told me.
and I know I've been talking to you, well, emailing in the last, I don't know, couple of weeks, but, you know, anybody else, just CC maybe all three of us, that way there, we all can, you know, because I honestly didn't know anything about this, and I
realize it's not to the benefit, and if you don't wish to see the pictures, but
no,
this,
I'll take a look at them.
this to expect to look at what's here, well, they do this. They wanted to do it on their own. You know, I can appreciate that, but they have had a year, and it is a dump and it is a hazard. So I hope I don't come back next year, because that would be 4 years in a row that I'm not hearing from
I hope not, I mean, that's supposed to be done, we need to talk to Brian, number one. She does have a point with it, the permit expires. What happens now?
Well, I told her exactly. I'll tell you what I told her.
It needs to be
Yeah.
enforced.
That we'll clean it up, and we'll put a lien on their land. That's what we'll do.
Have we
So-
sent a cease and desist notice to the property owners before we make a?
I think Brian has, and that's when
Yeah.
they applied for a permit to do it themselves, to save money.
I just don't want to get this town stuck into
Yep.
a monetary balance where the town has to, if you guys make a motion, that the town will go out and clean it up after the 24th and then put a deed on them. If we haven't sent the legal process a cease and desist order and then continue the legal process into the court to force them to clean it up before we do anything.
Right.
But sending the town out there to spend any of the taxpayer dollars to clean up a private property.
In fact, that's the protocol.
Yeah, we wouldn't do that without going through those avenues.
It's all in that RSA I gave you.
Yeah, it is.
That's part
So-
of my biggest concern, that there are guidelines, there are dates, and there are rules and regulations in place. And if a cease and desist is supposed to be, and if it's supposed to be triggered by the 24th of August, then I expect to see that done. Not picking and choosing that has happened in the past. This one's fine, this one's not.
No, I don't disagree on that.
You know?
So, maybe we can get that on the agenda for the 17th. Or then, well, actually, no, the 17th, the next meeting?
22nd.
We have
22nd.
one on
22nd. 17th is a special meeting.
It'll be $30.
Yeah. Those are antique chairs, so let's be easy on them, all right?
Oh, they're antiques, well, that's 300.
Yeah. Yeah, the next meeting will be on 22nd, so maybe get on the agenda for the 22nd and get Brian to find out where we are.
You want Brian here?
Yes, please.
As long as that 24th deadline, whatever this cease and desist is,
Yep.
gets back into the appropriate time frame.
The 22nd is 2 days before the permit expires. So, should have a good handle on it by then, what's going
Thank
on.
you very much.
Thank you, Barbara. Okay. Address safety codes letter from Assistant Fire Chief. Safety codes. Okay.
This downtown right here, this building right here.
Oh, okay. I am going to read this letter. It's from the Assistant Fire Chief, and it concerns this building. Pursuant to this SAFC 6000 and RSA 153.5, the Town of Milton adheres to the New Hampshire State Fire Codes 2009 edition of the NFPA 1, the Uniform Fire Code, and NFPA 101, the Life Safety Codes. These, along with few Town of Milton fire ordinances, are the basis for the inspection results as identified in this letter. Milton's Fire Rescue's Assistant Chief, David Pajot, Firefighter Burns, conducted an inspection of the property located at 424 White Mountain Highway. This property, known as the Emma Ramsey Center, on March 15, 2016. The inspection was conducted to determine compliance with the above codes and included compliance review related to Chapter 13 and 39, the place of assembly of business, occupancies of NFPA 101 Life Safety Code. At this time, I have decided to renew the building's place of assembly permit for 90 days. During this time, the following items need to be corrected. Main floor, all temporary electrical cords shall be removed and replaced with permanent wiring. This includes extension cords under desks. There are 2 extension cords in the upstairs meeting room that were installed for the camera system that need to be removed and replaced with permanent wiring. The extension cords in the break area also need to be removed. NFPA 1, Section 11.1.7.5. The emergency lighting in the upstairs meeting room by the outside door is inoperable. Okay. Combustibles should not be stored in the cooking area or of the break room. So we need to get those things looked at, get those taken care of. Ensure this downstairs. Ensure the second means of egress from the Recreation Director's office is clear of all obstruction. NFPA 1, Section 44311. The storage in the furnace room still needs to be removed. The storage in the furnace room still needs to be removed. Doesn't read right.
He's probably got some stuff inside the furnace room that needs to be taken out
Yeah.
of there.
Yeah, so we'll have to get that. This is an ongoing issue. Consider placing a sign on the door that states no combustible storage allowed. NFPA 1, Section 10.19.5.1. During this inspection, a contractor is working in the basement of the record storage area. If the building is going to be occupied during this work, employees need to be aware that fire codes still apply. Therefore, egresses shall be kept clear and storage of these items in the first room is unacceptable. In conclusion, I recommend that in general that the town consider how they are going to handle their future storage, as the downstairs storage room is full and combustible storage is spilling out into the assembly area. The goal of Milton Fire Rescue is to assure a safe environment for both the citizens of Milton and for the responders who may be responding to an emergency in this facility. If you have any questions, concerns, in order to become compliant with the fire codes, please do not hesitate to contact Milton Fire Department, Milton Fire Rescue. So we got some work to do. We got some work to do in this building.
Yeah, I got stuff in that room.
Huh?
I've got stuff in that furnace room for the VFW.
Do you?
We have our podium stuff. And,
Right.
And our coffee supplies.
Okay.
And
You
I
got-
think, in fact, we get some flags in there too.
Okay.
In the furnace room? Yeah.
Okay. Well, we got.
We gotta find
That's
it.
what Karen told us to put it.
Yeah.
Yep.
No, we'll find it. We'll figure something out.
Yeah, we're
We
gonna
just
find
can't
another
be in there,
storage
that's
area
all.
for it, and
We'll find something. Just find a home for 'em.
and we need to get cords here. He's talking about like extension cord over there, and
We need to assign somebody to this,
yeah,
to,
see that it goes through.
yeah,
This time. Do you want to tackle it?
sure.
All right, we're going. Mike's going to stay on top of this and work with
Brian and.
Brian and also with Pat on this government building, Pat.
I'll work with Gordy and Bill on this after you guys
It kind of flows, don't it? So, all right, you gonna take care of that for me, sir?
Yes.
Thank you.
If I could just get the list of things that need to be done.
Right here.
Yeah, you take this one.
There you go, buddy.
I mean, it's not unsurmountable stuff, it's just things we need to get taken care of. Approval of the minutes. We got July 20th, special meeting. July 20th, non-public special meeting.
Yeah, we got quite a few on July 25th,
Yep.
26th. I'm assuming you guys read them?
I have, I just didn't bring any,
changes?
I saw nothing on any of them, they all look good.
Okay. I'd like to set a motion for these approvals.
Okay.
Okay, for the July 20th, public special meeting minutes. Make a motion to approve them as written and as previously stated.
I'll second it.
This is non-public?
This is public special minutes.
Okay, it would be sealed if it's non-public. I mean, if it's public, I'm sorry. If it's non-public, it may be sealed.
Well, have you read it?
Okay, that's non-public.
But it doesn't say that.
Then that's got to be correction needs to be put on there. It's supposed to be non-public.
Okay, so, we need to amend my
Yep.
motion to title this as non-public.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. We'll sign it after it's corrected. So we're gonna have to have that one corrected, Kath.
Yep.
So I'm not gonna sign that one at this point. Okay. All in favor on that?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay,
Now we got July 20 special meeting.
non-public special meeting. That's what that should have meant. Same thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they were both non-public meetings.
And these are all tax agreements, so
Yep.
I'll make a motion to approve the Wednesday, July 20th, 2016 non-public special meeting minutes as written and as previously sealed.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. put these right here for you to sign when
Yeah.
you're done. Okay, next.
I just wanna make sure they. Okay, so you've read, everything's there, there's no typos or anything, so
Aye.
but I will make a small statement after this, this is gonna be released. I'll make a motion to accept the Monday, July 25th, meeting minutes as written.
Do we have a second?
A second, yeah.
All in favor? Aye.
Also, in these minutes, there was a statement by me that I would check with the code enforcement officer tomorrow, for the 565 White Mountain Highway and further, Ryan, okay? I had contacted Ryan once and I tell you, I just been too busy, I didn't get down there. I didn't forget about you, but I just didn't get down there to walk the property. What's that?
Have you talked to Brian? I mean, where's Brian stand with the issue? It's really,
Well, I wanted to walk the property with you first.
I know, this started in May. It's been
Yeah.
going on
Yeah,
a long time. It's ridiculous. It's a safety issue. You have people coming there every day with a wall that could come down at any minute, and nobody in the town seems to really care. I don't understand. It's a major safety concern. It's more dangerous than the building next to Cumberland Farms that's coming down. I've been promised twice that I would get an answer in a couple days, and I haven't heard anything.
yeah, we talked on the phone, and I had missed you, you weren't home, I came
I know,
over.
I don't want to go down the road. I mean, I told you to call me before. I was 5 minutes down the road. If you would have called me when you were at my house, I could have come right home and met you.
Right, well,
But I don't want to go down that road, but.
Yeah, well, we had that conversation after I left there, but anyway, my apologies, I've been too busy, I haven't been able to
I
get
mean,
there.
if something happens, and hopefully nobody gets hurt, but if somebody does, I'm turning over all the information I had to them. I mean, it's ridiculous that nobody's come out. You got a 20-foot high retaining wall with rocks that could come down at any minute, and you have the public going there every day, parking their cars right underneath it. It's a major safety concern. Not to mention somebody on my property can now fall off and fall that 20 feet. It's a major safety concern.
All right, thank you, Ryan.
I tell you what, you want me to talk to Brian tomorrow, or are you gonna?
I won't see him, he won't work, I think he works Tuesdays and Wednesdays, or Wednesdays and Thursdays.
Wednesdays and
He
Thursdays.
won't be until Wednesday,
No,
unless you wanna call him.
Tuesdays and Thursdays?
Tuesday?
Tuesday and Wednesday, he'll be in tomorrow.
Okay, I thought you were
You
Thursday.
will follow up with him?
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah, he will do it on Wednesday.
We'll,
I mean, it'd just be nice to know that somebody's actually working on it, and if there's research being done, that's great, but I'm hearing nothing. I mean, I come in here and Brian basically tells me, oh, when I feel like it, I'll give you an answer. He's made statements that are not true multiple times to me, like last time I talked to him, he told me he had a meeting with you guys, and I brought that up in that last meeting, and you're all looking for this, we didn't have a meeting. I mean, I don't understand how we can keep getting away with stuff like that.
Okay, so Wednesday, I'll call you after my meeting with Brian, all right?
Okay.
And I have your contact information.
Okay. July 24th, non-public first
Hold on.
session.
All right.
First paragraph should be remain sealed.
Yeah, because you got some stuff you can't release on this one.
Huh? Yeah.
Yeah.
The second and
That's where I was
third.
gonna kind of go.
Yeah, all right, good.
Okay, so I'll make a motion to approve the non-public minutes on July 25th, first session. We have the first, second, third paragraphs.
The first paragraph should remain sealed.
Right down to the third one. Well, there's three paragraphs there,
Mm-hmm.
and they're all about the same the same issue.
Okay, the first
3 paragraphs.
item, the 3 paragraphs, first
Yeah,
item,
yeah.
yep.
Should stay, it should be sealed indefinitely, as previously sealed.
Okay. And the last 2 items can be released. All in favor? Aye.
All right, the last set of minutes for the July 25th, non-public meeting minutes, session 2. These can be released, I
Yeah,
don't see that.
yeah, that's fine.
Any regards to
Nope.
them sealed. So to release these minutes.
A second.
All in
Aye.
favor? Aye. Alright, need you guys signatures. As soon as we get that signed, and did you sign what you need to in there, or you get that after?
You get it.
Okay.
Want to do the whole thing after?
Again, just so I tell you, yep, that's fine.
So we move on to meeting.
Alright. Selectmen comments. Andy?
Just have a couple of things here. August 28th, we're going to have the dedication for the James Culver House Memorial Playground at 1 o'clock. If anybody's interested,
Okay.
I think we'll be having some cake or something. And we are still selling the calendars on sale throughout the town to raise funds for the new softball field. You can buy them throughout the town. So, you know, if anybody's interested, we could. I'm sorry. Yeah, well, here you can buy them here.
Recreation
the
area.
recreation.
Michelle, I think, has some.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. So, I don't. I think some businesses have them for sale too, don't they? I think Pizza Nut. The school
The hardware
has
store?
some.
Who has some?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we could really use some help on the funds. I know they did get a quote in for the fence, and it was kind of breathtaking. But you know, we got to move forward with this project, and so I mean, we've had a lot of volunteers down there helping out. You know, to start the groundwork, the Pays, Mr. Cadwick.
Yep.
Fred
Thanks.
Cameron's a huge supporter, and
Exactly.
Pat
I
Smith,
am
and
over to
Karen
you.
Brown, and Bob Adams, and Jane Weymouth. So, I mean, if we can just do our due diligence and maybe give $10 for a calendar
For support.
for
Yeah.
support of building it without touching tax dollars, money, would be a huge help. I'm going to do my Selectmen's Forum this Sunday at 9 o'clock at the Dunkin' Donuts. If anybody's interested in coming down, and we can talk about whatever's on anybody's minds. I'm sure there's something. I'd love to have you come. And also, I just want to thank Mike Beaulieu here, because for the last 6 months, this guy has done a lot of work for this town, you know, without having a TA, where, you know, I'm out of town during the day, and Tom is out of town, but Mike has really stepped
Yep.
up. And I realize, you know, we don't have all the answers right there when someone needs it, unfortunately. It's, you know, it's not that we're not working on it, it's just, you know, there's a lot going on, and I promise we'll get to your question, though. Seriously, I'll have an answer. But I do want to thank Mike for all his hard work in the last 6 months
Yeah,
that he's given to this town.
I'll echo that, because he's stepped up a lot.
I appreciate it.
Thanks, guys.
That's all I got.
Mike?
Okay, so I took pictures, but I forgot to bring with me at the new fire station. Just about all of the trusses around there. It's a huge building now.
Oh, it's looking good.
It's coming
It's
together
nice.
really nice. I don't know if most people have probably driven by it. It's beginning to look like, you know, the building that we anticipated. I haven't spoke to Nick in the last couple of days, so I guess that's where I'll end the fire station. Has anybody, it's public, that looks like the expenditure report still is in good shape. I've gone through it, page by page. If anybody has any questions, I'd be happy to answer them if I can. If not, I can get an answer to you. But otherwise, the expenditures look good. With the WEX program, we're still on with that. We from 6:30 to 7:28. The usage, and make it short, the savings, $1,800, $1,882. Substantial amount of money that we've been saving.
It's nice because the gas is going down, so
I know it, huh?
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah, so we're still
it's
on
back in our favor.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. And I think that's all I have right now, Tom.
All right. I'm going to start off with my planning board report. Just want you guys to know, and everybody know, that both the gas station project X17 and I'm going to call it the new China Pond in the Old Ways Marina site is moving forward. There have been some, I don't want to call them hiccups, but delays with the state as far as getting right-of-ways and things like that. But we're working through that, so that'll be taken care of. They're working on the, oh wow. The final stages have, to the planning board, have to present the recommendations to BOS, but it doesn't say what, but it's for the CIP. They're working on that. Bruce has looked at that, and he's writing a narrative, basically describing everything, recommendations from the planning board to present to the board of selectmen. Board of selectmen will look at it and make its recommendations on whether they want to fund what's there, eliminate what's there, whatever recommendations we have, and then we have to present that to the budget committee. So that's moving forward also. It's actually taken very good form this time. Last time we did it, it was a few steps missed, quite a few steps missed. That's why it failed. The next item I'm going to talk about, actually is a pretty hot topic, and it's got to do with Lockhart Field. As everybody knows, Lockhart Field was considered for a brownfield grant back a while ago. It was dropped because there was no redevelopment plan in place. So, with that, I'm going to pass these to you two guys here. I have contacted New Hampshire Solar Gardens and see if there's interest to put the solar panels up there. They are very interested. They come out and looked at it, checked the site, looked at where the sun is and where it comes in, all the configurations. They have given us I'm going to call it a letter of intent, which is basically an outline of what they're looking to do, what they would like to do. So basically, I'm just going to paraphrase this here. It says, land lease rates be $7,900 a year for the community solar array, which would be a 20-year term with 2 5-year extensions. So a total of $237,000 in new income for the town over the 20 years. The tax pilot rates is $2,100 a year for a community solar array over a 20-year term, $42,000 for that percentage. And then it goes on to what the energy rate option and all that is. So I told Andrew Keller with Hampton Solar Gardens, I'd bring it up to you guys and get your feel for it, and see if you want him to go forward and start drawing up plans. And
Please.
Andy?
Most definitely.
Okay, so I will contact him tomorrow.
Good job, Tom.
Yeah, thank you.
And to take it further than that, because we still know there are some issues we got to deal with, possibly. So I reached out to Matt Sullivan, Stratford Regional Planning Commission, on the brownfield, because he said, if there's a plan in place, come back. We have a plan in place. He's talking to his engineers about getting us back on the brownfield grant redevelopment program. No, I haven't heard back from today. I tried calling him today, and today's the day he's in Northwood, so I'll be talking to him this week, hopefully tomorrow. This morning I had an interview with Caitlin Andrews from Foster's. We met at Dunkin' Donuts. We sat there, we talked, and she asked some questions, and I gave her a copy of the pages out of the 1978 town report that shows when landfill was closed, or when the ball fields was starting to be developed, and the stages and that type of thing. So I felt it went well. We'll see how the article comes out. So I'm optimistic. After that, myself, Pat Smith, John Catwick, we went up to Lockhart Field and met with DES. And we had 2 representatives from DES come out, and basically what they did, they weren't there to do any assessments or take any samples. What they did is they took pictures, walked around it, and see if they saw any visual, I don't want to call them imperfections, any visual signs of problems. They didn't see any visual, they said. I mean, again, they got to go back to their people, and they've got to relay their information to their people and see what kind of report comes out of that. With that being said, I think we still should take the proactive approach. There's a well up there, that's used for the bathrooms and for irrigation, and do some water testing on the well to make sure there's nothing there. And also get a hold of CMA Engineering, who does our monitoring for the transfer station landfill and also for the Appleby Road landfill, and talk to them about the next steps and what would be involved in putting some test wells on the lower end, just to test and make sure we're all good and clean. There's several ideas and several ways of we could look at for paying for that. One of them could be talking to New Hampshire Solar Gardens to see if they would help foot the bill for doing the test pits. Another one is when I talked to Matt Sullivan, see if his brownfield grant would help pay for some of those. So there's things to be done there, but I think we should be taking a proactive approach to it and just let's get it clean. When they left today, there was really the indication I got. They weren't too concerned about what was there. So I mean, that's the impression they left me with. John and Pat can speak for themselves as far as that goes, but I really didn't think that we had any type of a problem there. But we just want to make sure that we monitor it, we make sure we know it is, and we take control of it. The next thing I have, and that's all for the Lockhart Field. Last meeting.
Tom, can I ask you a question on
Yes,
that?
yes.
What would be worst case scenario out of that? Did you guys discuss that?
She wouldn't give us any worst case scenario because they are not there to do that type of assessment. They were just there to do a visual inspection, go back to report. But again, like I said, they didn't just walk on the top. They went down to the bottom and walked around the bottom, looked for anything that may be coming through. Way she came back, says she saw nothing. Yes?
They weren't there to mandate anything for us. They were there to assist us
Yeah.
in anything that we may need or anything we may need help with in the future.
So I mean, and like I said, they walked around not just on the top looking down. They went down actually to the bottom and walked through the brush and to see if they saw anything that was coming through the sides. And like I said, indications were they were pretty happy. So
It's a good thing.
yeah. Okay. So
Tom?
yes. Oh, Dennis.
I came in with 2 concerns, and that was one of them.
Yep.
Thank you. That was good. I'm glad to hear you are proactive. I guess my one question is, are you firmly set on New Hampshire Solar Gardens? I know they're a proven entity, but are you willing to entertain ideas from other?
My thoughts on that piece of property is I want something out there that's not going to involve public because it is so secluded and things like that. Nothing to do with what we may or may not be looking at there. I want to have something it's number one, generate revenue. And number 2, that's not going to involve the public or have a reason to go out there. I mean, granted, if they want to climb a fence, they're going to climb a fence. There's nothing to do to stop them. But they'd be at that point be trespassing onto that property.
And there's not really a whole lot we can do with it.
Right.
Right.
Let's face it. This,
Yeah.
Thank you. I'm glad you're acting on this.
And back to the New Hampshire Solar Garden brochure here. It says Milton has the opportunity to increase the revenue of the town with its new solar project and zero out their town electric bill when the land leases and pilots are included in the total savings to the town.
Yeah, and I'm gonna ask, Kathy, who put stuff onto the Milton Facebook page? Who's responsible? Has it?
Ours?
Yes.
Dana.
Dana will.
All right, I'm gonna email this to her. I'd like to have her post this onto the, Milton Facebook page, as well as the town website.
All right.
So,
Thanks, Tom.
I mean, it's a proven entity. It's worked up there, and to me, it just seemed like a good fit there. Yes, Chief.
Is your intent to shut that property off even in the wintertime to the snowmobile club?
We're not gonna shut off the gate. If we put this up there, great question. Because the solar garden, the way it's gonna be set up, it's not gonna shut off the snowmobile trail. We already did talk to them about that, make sure they have the snowmobile trail open. The gate that's across the driveway or the road that's going into it, my hopes are to remove that totally, fenced in, because the solar garden's only gonna go in the area where the ball field is and further south, I guess it is, and on the lower section, it's gonna be a tiered level. And it's not gonna need to go into the roadway, so we can take that gate out of there. If the snowmobiles wanna go through there over to, Old County Road, it's open for them. So, no, we don't wanna close off snowmobiles.
It would be my suggestion to leave the gate there. The snowmobile trail comes in from the opposite side from where the gate is. So my suggestion to you would be to leave that gate in so we don't have cars and different types of other vehicles
Yep.
going in there. It's a secluded area, just like we've had with the ball field issues.
Right.
It's so secluded, no one can see it from the road. And normally when we find the vandalism is because we're going in to do a check, or Pat's guys went in the morning and find it at 6 o'clock in the morning when they're going in to do maintenance on the property up there. I think if you leave that road, if you remove that gate, you're going to.
It's open, I understand that.
Open season.
My only concern with that is we have to find out, number one, is it still a Class 6 road, or is it a discontinued road? That would make a difference on whether it's allowed to take it or not.
Well, if the Solar Gardens is gonna be leasing that property up there, then they would ultimately fall in control of the gate, key-wise.
Yeah, but it is, still is, I'm not clear on that, on the road part of it, how that would come into play there. I mean, where it was a town road at one time, way back when, so. But we will, that's a very good suggestion, because my thought was people would not have a reason to go back there. So everybody going back into there would, I guess technically could be considered trespassing onto the soul garden property, but they wouldn't have to. They can go off to the right, which is where the cemetery is. Yeah, so good point, Chief. I think it's probably a wise idea. Yes. Oh, comments? No. All right. Next up, last meeting we had talked about giving all chair boards of committees, all chairs of boards of committees a key to the building, this building. And I was wondering where we stand on that.
What was that?
Giving a key to all chairs.
Right, the only person I've given one out to is Doug.
Okay, yeah.
I am having
That's
some
cool.
more keys made up.
Hi, Dan. Yeah.
And they come in and let me know, and I can give them, they have to be coded and everything.
Right.
Okay?
Have you reached out to any of the chairs?
We have, there's only a couple left that we have to, but nobody has approached it yet, so
Do they know about it?
I'm assuming they do.
Have you reached out to them?
I did personally reach out to them.
Okay.
All right, maybe we should do that then, reach out to
Yeah,
them.
yeah, we will.
All right.
Okay.
the keys are free now? I gotta say it to the college line.
John, I can't answer that 'cause we're being recorded. The next thing up is actually, I'm going to ask Pat if he could address it. It's got to do with your highway bond, the reason you were putting on the addition on there. And I mean, I know there was some issues there, and as far as the building itself and what you found once you had to tear it.
Yeah, we had been talking about for the last 4 or 5 years of removing that addition on the back corner of the highway barn. Over the last couple of years, it's pulled over 5 inches away from the building, was falling off. The floor had rotted completely out. There was just plywood laying on the ground. The plywood was covered with black mold underneath. There was all kinds of black mold that went up underneath the floor joists in my office. It was on the walls. So we tore the whole thing down, and we had to gut my office to get the black mold out of my office. And we're in the process of putting up another office and another storage room with a little extra space on it for our refrigerator.
Yeah, storage.
Right now, everything's out in the highway barn itself, in the bays, my table, where the guys sit down and everything. So we went a little bit farther to put a table out there and put the refrigerator out there to get them out of the bay.
Yeah.
How the way it works on the vehicles.
Yeah, I mean, this was a necessity, because my understanding, talking to some of the guys, when they got into where the vents were, there's actually some mold that's being blown through the vents. So-
Somebody, whoever had put the heating system in, they put it together with drywall and
Yeah, it was-
different things, and it was
It was like-
disgusting. And it was hidden up in the ceiling, so you couldn't see it.
yeah.
I happened to be there when they were taking the floor up, and he's right. There were no floor joists. That's how badly they were rotted, and the mold was beyond what it should anybody be in that building for.
I mean,
And
there
again,
was-
even the block work
But
has
that's
always been an issue.
Right, the major problem is the block work. When Mike come up to look at the building, I showed him that the weight of the roof had been pushing the blocks together at the top, so they had actually cracked and it was starting to tip in. But my biggest concern was, and that's what I had explained to Mike when he came up, I was afraid we were gonna get a heavy snow or something and that corner of that building's coming down.
Mhm.
And there could be 3 or 4 people in there at any given time when that comes down.
Oh, absolutely. I
The
know.
right thing to do was to tear it down and to at least put.
Well, it's a
a
health
header in
and
there to
safety
hold
issue
that-
as well.
To hold that roof up.
It was a health and
Exactly.
safety issue. I mean, if you get mold blowing in from the vents, it's a health and safety issue as well. So, Dennis, you had a question?
Yeah, that was my other concern that brought me in. You explained it to me prior to the meeting, and I appreciate that. So my next question is, how is this getting paid?
Thought you were paying for it.
Huh?
Thought you were paying for
No,
it.
not this week. No.
This week.
Can you or you?
I didn't hear the question.
How's it-
What line
Where's the
item
money,
are we
where's the
paying?
money coming from?
Where's the money coming from?
Yeah.
We're gonna just hold back in different lines in the budget and take care of it. If I save some money in fuel, I'll use some money out of the fuel line.
You have any ideas what the total? any
Right
idea?
now, I have all the materials bought and I'm barely at $7,000. It should be under 10 by the time it's completed.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
That's including the concrete and
Right.
everything.
Okay.
It's important,
Yes,
it's
John?
important to also understand that there's people out on the outside running business that's giving big deals on this.
Right, there's
I think
been,
you're all aware of that.
Yeah,
I
there's-
did get some lumber at cost from Fred Cameron. He gave us lumber at cost to do the walls and study in the walls and stuff. So we've been helped out. We've got helped out with Perkins Concrete. He came in, he basically gave me the concrete at cost. So we've had some help with people donating or giving us things.
discounts and things, yeah. Which- I mean, Larry?
That if a picture still exists of it and can go up on the town's website, the most god-awful terror in that building was the non-supported masonry wall that stuck out about, what, three blocks out and was still standing in the air. And
Yeah.
I don't have any padding.
Yep.
That picture alone will justify any repairs to that building.
We had those pictures at a town meeting.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
had showed people the need for something to be done there. Then,
We got voted down that year.
Yep. Yep.
now that the blocks are even scarier to look at.
Lebanon page in you?
Yep.
Okay,
It
so,
definitely wasn't by choice that we
no,
had to do
it
this.
was a necessity. It's a
Something that
health
had
and
to be done.
safety issue there.
I know there's several people in this room that have seen it, and Bob's seen it.
And that brings me to my comment, Dennis, which I know you probably didn't like too well, but I don't understand why, if somebody's got a question from any of our department heads, ask them. they're all approachable, but when I see questions get put out to other people that don't have answers, it just, to me, doesn't make sense. And I understand it invokes conversation, I get it. But if you want an actual answer, go to whoever the department is, ask the question.
That's why I'm here tonight, so I want an
Yep.
actual answer.
Yep. John?
I got it, thank you.
Yep, no, you're welcome.
Yeah, I also would have to, agree a little bit with Dennis because of being on the budget committee like I had to
Yep.
resign for. And, those questions are good in some cases, but in all fairness to the town of Milton, the department heads mainly that we're talking about, whatever building it could be, we all need to understand if we want to learn about what's going on in these buildings, you need to go there and spend some time.
Yep.
In this, I've focused a little bit on listening to rumors around town on this Facebook thing, and I'm really fed up with it, and the way some people have put stuff on it. It's time to start learning what's going on, and before you open your mouth.
Thank you, John.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, John, because I'm old school. If I get a question, I'm gonna go to the source, ask the question.
Yeah, there's no
Period.
reason why we can't go to these buildings like I do and
Yep.
see what's going on.
Okay, any other comments on that before I move on to my last one? Okay, I want to let everybody know, I am going out for another surgery. So I am going to ask Mike to, kind of take the helm till I can get back on my feet and get back again. So, I'm sure Mike is going to do a good job. And as last time, I know, you're over there now. You quit moving around. As last time, Kathy kept me well informed what's going on. If there's something needs fixing, she brought up the house where I, till I can get back on my feet. So,
And our new TA will be starting
correct.
Yeah.
17th, and
Yep.
that
Yep.
will
Lighten the load.
put everything
Yeah.
to bed here. That
So-
it's been tough, but
So after tonight, Mike, the meetings are yours till I get back.
Thank you, Tom.
And I got all the faith in the world in you. And that's all I have. Public comments. Mr. Brown.
I got several. One for the trivial and humorous record. When we first started having meetings here, I recommended that an outlet be put in the middle of the floor, directly under your left foot. But more importantly, wanted to thank Devin for his letter. What it did, specified the span of control, specified the chain of custody, it specified consequence, remedy, and it detailed line by line what the issues were. It's an excellent thing to have that kind of piece of paper in front of you for discussion. For the Milton home page, the Milton official page,
Yep.
in Foster's, there was a big article about the wonders of Durham, where they have put in a solar panel project. We are doing as much, and some would say more, with less. And to get the combination of proven capacity, proven attention to detail that Andrew Keller has had at a contiguous property to the benefit of the town is something that should go out in capital letters for what we are,
Yeah, well,
what we are
just,
doing.
I want to touch on that very topic because the original Solar Garden at the time not only made Foster's, but it also was in a magazine for solar, I forget the name of the magazine. There's a big write-up about
Solar
the...
Age?
Huh?
Solar Age?
I'm not sure, I don't remember the name of the magazine. But there was a big write-up about town of Milton being the pioneers, I think they called it. And kind of took a very big step forward.
I will be, there was a picnic for one of the major political parties for the county of Stratford on Sunday. And one of the candidates for governor, Colin Van Ostern, voted in favor of solar energy projects. Chris Sununu is fossil energy. And it was only through the intervention of Colin and others that the solar credit project went forward.
Okay.
Something to remember.
Yep. We just gotta stay away from politics.
I'm sorry, and last thing is, I will ask for my key. Usually there's so many qualified people with keys that I don't need one for the budget committee. And for the record, thanks to Kathy Wallingford for table space, the public records of the budget committee, for which I do have responsibility, will be found in a black folder on the assessing desk labeled public records of the budget committee. For those things that I can control, I do.
Appreciate it. Thank you. Anyone else? Public comments? Is that hand going up or is it just holding your chin?
Yeah, no. I just want to kind of, just for the record, bring things up to date on Veterans Park.
Yep.
Okay, the way I understand it, Mike's going to dig the trench, right?
Correct.
And Farmington Water Department's going to come over and do the coring
Yes.
and provide the fixtures or whatever at cost.
Yes, at cost, yeah.
Okay.
I'm donating the hydrant.
Right. So I have no idea what the cost is, but the VFW wants to pay part of that cost. Do we have an idea?
We probably won't know, Bob, until we get it dug up in water and see what we need for pipe.
Okay.
So I know Dale said that he would purchase the stuff that we need to hook it up and give it to us at cost. So, but he'd do the core for free, so.
Can I ask what involvement the water precinct is having in all this?
They're donating the meter
Yeah, they donated the meter.
Okay.
and the hookup, the hookup for the meter, right?
Yeah.
They waived
Wait,
the hookup fee.
yeah.
Why do they waive the meter?
Well, someone has to pay for it. It's us.
Yeah. Okay.
So we're donating it.
Any other public comments?
Well,
Yes.
I just want.
Oh, sorry, Bob.
One more issue. I fail to understand why, if we're only using water from like May till September, why do you have to pay for water year round?
Quarterly. It's a good question. We probably should have brought it up that night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the water precinct. They're the only ones that really can answer that.
We can bring that back onto the table when we meet with them again.
Yeah, I mean, we don't mind paying. for-
Yeah, but when you don't have to, it's only
Right.
seasonal.
Yeah, it's only seasonal.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But if it's metered, shouldn't you only be paying for what you use anyways?
Yeah, but there's.
They have a
there's
quarterly
fat-
fee.
a
Right.
flat fee.
They have
Yeah.
a flat fee which covers so many gallons or whatever. Just and then on top of that, it's metered. Ryan.
I don't want to get back into it, but just when I do get a response, could I just request that I get a written response as well as verbal when we get to that?
From Brian?
On the issue that we spoke about earlier.
Yep, from Brian.
Brian, or you, or whoever, just somebody from the town.
Okay.
We appreciate it. I just would like something in writing.
Okay.
Just so I have a record of
Yep.
the response.
Understand.
Thank you.
Yes.
Sorry I was late.
Yeah, just can you do me a favor? I apologize, everybody else out there. State your name for the record.
My name's Joe St. Lawrence. I'm the former owner of Three Ponds Automotive.
Yep.
Somebody just brought it to my attention today. There was an article in the paper from the last Selectmen's meeting.
Okay.
There was a issue brought up about a boundary issue.
Right.
I have some information. I don't know who I share that with about.
I'm sure right here if you want.
Okay.
Yeah.
I have paperwork. What happened with, it was a few years ago that the art shop expanded.
Sure. Yep.
We got all the stuff approved through the town. I have all the proof of all the work that was being done. Tom Bashon was doing the work, and at the time LaBrie's owned it.
Right.
Okay. So Tom was doing the work, putting up the rock walls, and the LaBrie's thought that we crossed over the line, the property line. So they
LaBrie's lawyer got a cease and desist order, so everything was stopped. So we went to court. There was an agreement between us, Three Ponds Automotive, the estate of Morris LaBrie, and the new owners that was under contract, that the line was never crossed. It did come within a certain distance of the line.
Right.
There's an agreement that everything was approved by, all the parties interested. It was, went through the court, and I can show, I don't know if you want me to come in. I was gonna come in tomorrow and talk to Brian Boyers, but.
That might be a good idea.
How about Wednesday when I'm gonna be here?
Wednesday?
Can you do it Wednesday?
Yep.
Yes.
I'll be here right around 8 o'clock when it opens.
Okay. Take all the paperwork.
Yeah, that'd be a good idea if you can just bring it in and just kind of lay it out. And yes, Ryan,
Boundary line dispute or not, it's still a safety concern.
yeah, on the wall.
Yeah. That's for somebody else to decide, I guess. So I'll put in there that's exactly the way they wanted it. I'll show you guys Wednesday.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll go
Yep.
over it Wednesday in detail.
Would it be possible that you can send me copies of that as
Well,
well?
you'll have to contact my lawyer.
Okay.
I'll show you guys. That's between us. If he wants to find out about it, then he should take it up with the previous owner. This was all done.
Already have.
4
This
years
story's
ago.
a little different, but we don't need to get into that.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Joe.
Yep.
Yep. So we can,
I'll see you Wednesday morning at 8 o'clock then. Thanks.
awesome. All right. Anybody else? Okay. Not hearing any. I'm going to close public comments. And that leaves us with other business. You guys have any other business?
Motion to adjourn.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Larry, how you doing?